All righty, all good there. Hey, everybody. Happy New Year to you all. Happy 2025. Welcome to the first episode of Note Night in America in this new quarter century. I'm Scott Carson, known across the country as the Note Guy. We have been having some sort of Note Night in America for over 13 years now, which is just kind of crazy to think about that. But honored to be here. I think this is episode like 189 for the actual Note Night in America podcast. If you're watching live on YouTube, thank you for listening live. We're glad that you're here or listening to the Note Night in America podcast. Thank you for listening. You may want to jump over to YouTube to check out the link that we'll put in the description there for you. But lots of great stuff to go over. What an amazing year 2024 was. And I am so absolutely stoked about what this year has to offer. I think we're going to see more distressed stuff than we've seen in a long time. And I think we're going to have a lot of opportunity if you know where to look. If you're one of these individuals that does not like the market, that just wants to be force-fed or fed like a kid from your mama when you're 2 years old, the whole airplane, force-fed, spoon-fed deals, you can find plenty of good deals that way, but you're going to find better if you know how to work and know where to rock and roll at, okay? And tonight's episode is just kind of sharing with you guys how we find deals, especially what we are planning on using this year to help us find stuff that nobody else is seeing. How to find other deals that are just going to knock your socks off if you'll do a little bit of work. And for the last 6 months, we've been doing a lot of stuff, a lot of marketing, short videos, targeting distressed assets, commercial, residential, stuff like that. If you follow me on YouTube or follow me on TikTok, or you see our short videos we've been doing out there, it's been working. We are attracting buyers. We're attracting more product doing some of that stuff. Now, I'm not going to get into that tonight too much. You can go and check out, see what we're doing there. But what we're doing to find those deals that we do talk about is what I'm going to share with you tonight. Okay? I've been a note buyer for over 20 years, bought thousands of deals. So more so proud of the hundreds and hundreds of students that we've taught to close deals. I got word right before going on that one of our newest coaching students is getting ready to close on his first deal this week. Using a self-directed IRA. I'm so proud of Sterling and just doing a great job. And we've got a lot of good stuff going on this year. Lots of great stuff. But anyway, let's dive into the nuts and bolts of tonight's call. I promise you're going to want to take notes. You're probably going to want to come back and check out. We're going to mention a couple different websites that we use and recommend. All right. Some of these I do get an affiliate kickback. I use it though. You know me. I don't recommend something I don't use. That's the big thing. If I'm going to use it and recommend it, I'll talk about it here, but I'll tell you I don't use something, and I'm not going to recommend something that we don't use because I think it's a waste of time. And good to see you guys here live, John, Jim, a few other folks online here, Arthur. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of tonight's call so you're out of here by 10 o'clock. I'm just joking. Anyway, we're going to actually split this into two different ways. Finding non-performing notes is great. Now, we're not going to get into how do you find owner finance notes. I'm not going to waste my time. I mean, I'll talk about a little about that in the residential side. Predominantly tonight, we're going to talk about how to find the lists of non-performing notes that are from institutions, commercial and residential notes. Okay, we've split this into two parts. All right, the first part we're going to talk about commercial because it's a little bit easier to find that stuff right now. And I mean that it is easier to find distressed commercial stuff based on the tools that we're providing. Now, if you are joining us on YouTube live, I do see we've got about 10 or 12 people on there. Hey, awesome. Make sure to type in the chat roll so we can answer your questions. But I'm going to ask you guys that are live here, keep your questions relevant to either the slide that we're on or wait till the very end. We've got a spot for you to go through. And if you're live on Zoom, if you have a question, I'm glad to bring you on live and let you answer your question live. That way it may be a little bit easier for it. But anyway, let's dive into the tale of two different halves, commercial versus residential. And we're going to start first with commercial. Now, where do we find notes from on the commercial side? Banks, hedge funds. We also leverage several search engines, I guess you could call them, for distressed commercial stuff, crediq.com, crexy.com. But one of the great things that we've been using the last few months, last quarter, I mean, I've used them all my entire time, but we made an investment into tracking foreclosure lists, especially here in Texas. And we'll talk about how we leverage those things by showing you a couple examples. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, the foreclosure list, that's focused just here in Texas. I buy for an area here. We'll talk about our resources just for Texas. If you're outside of Texas, then you're gonna want to check who provides your foreclosure lists in your county or in your city area to see if they offer a service kind of like what we have here in Texas. I'm very spoiled. I can pull foreclosure data on just about 200 plus counties. Commercial notes are basically 5 areas of Texas: the north, south, east, west, and central Texas. I'm located in Austin in central Texas, and so it gives me that stuff. But this is the great thing. Let's start first with how do you find non-performing notes, commercial from banks and hedge funds? Well, let's dive into that. So we leverage LinkedIn. Now, you've heard me talk about this before. Don't log off. Okay, LinkedIn is one of the most critical facets of your business. You want to have a complete LinkedIn profile. That means you're about you, your smiling face. You want to have a header image behind you. You want to be sharing information about what you're doing, pictures of properties or articles. Simple. Like I shared a simple post on Friday about a DSCR loan in Florida that came across our desk. Talked about details of it, and bang, I got over 30,000 people viewed that photo and that post, and it's been a very nice post for us with a lot of things. Do I get 30,000 every time? No, I don't, but it does help you in that. And some of those have been asset managers, some of those have been lenders, realtors, funds that have reached out to you. It's been a busy day today with some phone calls and bookings this week from talking with people, okay? But on LinkedIn, if you go to LinkedIn and just do a search by a special asset manager, secondary marketing manager, whole loan traders, chief credit risk officers, okay? Those 4 job titles will help you find people at banks and hedge funds that are in the process of handling the distressed commercial notes for the bank, okay? What do? You send them a direct message. You probably want to pay for an upgraded LinkedIn and send them an email. Hey, I believe you're the right person at such and such bank in charge of non-performing notes for your bank. I'd love to talk about buying or get on your investor list, okay? Now, I like to use this on a daily basis. Now, I'm kind of capped out my connections at 30,000, so I have to use more in-mail stuff. I can't just send a willy-nilly like a lot of people are doing, sending out 20 to 100 connection requests per day. I actually have been having to go through into my connections on LinkedIn and get rid of people that really aren't fitting my profile anymore, which can be a little bit of a challenging aspect. But most of you aren't going to be at that point where I'm at, okay? You can use a service called octopuscrm.io or Rocket. Rocket Reach is another tool that we've come across. It's been fabulous. One is to make connections on an autopilot a little bit per day with Octopus CRM, sending out 20 to 100 connection requests with the right people. The other one is when you're searching for people and you find a name, Rocket Reach can actually help you find a working email or two and potentially a phone number of the person that you're searching for. This has been really, really helpful in changing how we kind of approach our drip marketing campaigns with email. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. But anyway, so this is, if you go to Octopus CRM, this is the first thing it's going to do. You can see on the screen here. If I go to and do a search for chief credit risk officers, it's going to pull up in LinkedIn that whole list, 1,000 or 2,000 names, right? Well, Octopus will allows you to pull over 1,000 profiles into Octopus, which is a Google Chrome extension. And then I can pre-write what I want to send out here, kind of like in the center here, where it's first name, last name, business, job title, that stuff. I'm going to say, hey, blank, I see you're the blank at blank. Are you the right person in charge of your non-performing note sales? Let's talk. I'd love to talk about buying. So I can do that and send out connection requests to 20 to 100 people per day, depending on where you're at. And if you got a brand new LinkedIn profile, it's probably only going to let you do like 20 a week until you upgrade your account, okay? This costs about $100. No, I'm sorry. I have the month to month. It's like $21 a month, okay? If I do month to month on this. If you want to pay for the full year, I think it drops it down to like $15 a month, okay? But this is how, actually, this one tool helped me grow my LinkedIn from 5,000 to the 30,000 over a period of a couple of years. Okay. I'm a very big fan of it. If you're going through our coaching, this is one tool that will help you no matter what niche you're in. You do it. Now, it's not going to give you emails. It's going to basically connect the people through LinkedIn and either send out connection requests or send an email invite through LinkedIn and make it look like it's a connection request if you're capped out. But this is one way that we built like 20, 30 different lists within LinkedIn and Octopus, like special asset managers, secondary marketing managers, whole loan traders, chief credit risk officers, note investors, IRA investors, real estate investors, Texas, real estate investors, Florida. All right. Great resource to build a list of right party contacts for you to use in your business. Okay. Now you're going to still want to go through and kind of check that list, but it's the way the automation on this thing, that alone is worth its weight in gold for 21, 22 bucks a month for you to be able to log in the morning, send out 20 to 100 networking requests and go do something else, go for a walk, ride your bike, go sit on the pot, whatever you do in the morning. But start that networking, start that LinkedIn thing rock and roll. Okay. Because asset managers are going to look at your LinkedIn profile, see how many connection requests you have. They just are. If you're brand new, it's okay. But the more you have, the more credible, especially if you start to being connected with a lot of other asset managers, that adds credibility to your, oh, you're connected to this guy, you're connected to this gal. Boom, they must be serious. Okay. Great tool. All right. This is, if you don't do Octopus CRM, I'm sorry, it's going to be hard for you to connect with asset managers. It just is. It's one of the best things out there. Now, the next thing that we've been messing around with, this is just like the last week. I know it's been around for a while. I've actually played with it around in the past, and I was actually looking for some contacts today on a note sale or note on a foreclosure property in Corpus Christi today for a buddy of mine. And I was searching for an asset manager name and email and came across this. I was like, oh, I've been meaning to use this. This is Rocket Reach. Okay. Now, Rocket Reach will allow you, if you find somebody's LinkedIn profile, their URL, and go paste it in there, it'll go in and find an email, one or two emails, and or a phone number. Depends on which kind of membership you sign up for on this. Now, this can be, I think, 50 bucks a month to do that. You can actually, I think, export up to about 100 names at a time from your list, or 1,200 contacts. You can export. It creates a kind of a database for you. You can import lists into this. So that's one thing I'm just starting to mess around with, is importing a list of asset manager URLs that we have from some of our Call Blitz and imn.org stuff to get a complete email list that I can then turn around and update my asset manager list. So that's one thing I'm really excited about with this. So Rocket Reach, I think like 48 bucks or 150 is unlimited. You know, it's a little bit of a cost. But if you can get the right email and the right phone numbers and the right connections to some of these asset managers at banks, besides just LinkedIn, that in itself is worth its weight in gold. Okay. I'm a big fan of Credit IQ. If you've not heard me talk about Credit IQ is probably one of the most powerful tools in the commercial real estate space. Okay. Now, it's not cheap. It's about $200, $300 a month for access to this. But what Credit IQ does is they are linked into all the special servicings. And my buddy Mike Haas out of Philadelphia, I won't hold it against him that he's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. But Mike and his team over there have just done a great job. They're linked into all the special servicers. So you can go in here and search and pull up just any commercial property in the country. It'll tell you who, like, the LLC owner is. It'll tell you who the sponsor is. It'll give you the LLC name, the contact information, all the notes from the special servicing company, who the special servicer is. You can search by asset class type, distress type, unit type, if you're looking for multifamily stuff, geographic area. It is awesome. And they are really starting to make a wave with Bloomberg, or the Real Deal, and a bunch of other of these big news sources on the commercial real estate sites, because their stuff is just phenomenal. All right. And you can set up a free trial, get a free kind of walkthrough. What is it? Is it Nate that's over there does that now for me? It used to be Shane. But anyway, this is a great tool. Credit IQ. I can't tell you how many people call me, oh, I'm looking for multifamily deals. Okay, if you're a multifamily investor and want to look for distressed multifamily, go use credit. Well, it's like $300 a month. I'm like, well, yeah, you're going to spend a little bit more money for better information. Okay. And if you're going to be in the commercial real estate space, guess what? It's going to be a little bit more money in your due diligence to find deals, but it's be much more valuable. Okay. And that's why I say take the free trial, use it for a week, mess around with it, get a free walkthrough from the guys over there. It is valuable if you will just freaking put it to work. But literally, you can create different lists and watch lists. It's just wow. Not only is it good to find deals, but also sponsors, raising capital, especially in specific areas. I found a lot of uses for this, not only on the deal flow side, but also on the raising capital side. Like, think about it. Would it be valuable to know who the sponsors are or who the credit partners are on multifamily deals in the area that are performing? Would it be powerful to find out the sponsor on distressed multifamily deals, who that lender or who that borrower was, who the lender is? Yeah, it sure would be. And this is one tool that I absolutely love when it comes down to it. Now, another tool that we play around with is Crexy. You've probably seen Crexy. We've spent some time on this. Crexy is good. It will actually, what's great is you're looking for like commercial deals, especially a lot of owner finance stuff is with commercial stuff. They'll give you actually a lot of information on stuff that's been owner financed and when it matures and the loan date and that kind of stuff. Same thing that Credit IQ does. It's a little bit different here, more on the owner finance stuff side here. But Crexy, we've used this to make some offers, do a little due diligence, find some distressed stuff. You can actually go on here and find, if you're looking for like a commercial deals that people are offering owner finance stuff on it, that's an opportunity to find on here. It's a little bit different than Credit IQ. So Crexy can help you locate properties in specific geographic areas and see what's going on and research and compare properties, stuff like that. So this is another great deal to find, especially commercial. You can see if it's performing or non-performing and go that route to find some opportunities for you. Okay. Let's move on here. All right. Oh, 10X, you've probably heard of auction.com. 10X is obviously auction.com's commercial sister to it, her brother. Now, I don't buy on 10X, but what I do is I go to 10X and I search and look at the properties. And what I do is when I see a property on here, like they give me the address here, I could go down, let's see here, like that Sand Sage of West Plains Assisted Living down there. It's the second one at the bottom down there. There's Sand Sage of the Highlands Assisted Living. I guess Sand Sage is losing a couple of those, or they're going to foreclosure. I could take the address and go over the county appraisal district, okay, and see who the lender is on that by looking at the mortgage. I could also go over to Credit IQ and track it down to see who the lender is on this, okay? Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to contact the lender directly. Hey, what else do you have in your books that you're looking to get rid of? And we've done this. I did this live with some of my coaching students, Antron Dent, Fulton Bridges, that came in a few months back, and we went through and said, hey, here's how to find distressed stuff. If you got distressed hotels, distressed apartments, which are non-performing assets, you can find out who the lender is and contact the lender and see what else they have on their books and buy that stuff directly from, okay? And 10X doesn't cost you anything to go on there. I'm not bidding on this. I'm just using it as a resource to go find who the underlying lender is, because I guarantee the lender has other things. That makes sense, everybody? I get a thumbs up or a heck yeah if you like that one. Doesn't cost you anything. Yeah, Crexy, Credit IQ are going to cost you something, unfortunately, but it's well worth the investment. Okay, now I'm not going to go into LoopNet. LoopNet is just a dumpster fire. Okay. I like 10X a little better because it'll change up quite a bit. Now you can also go to exchange.loans. I didn't talk about exchange.loans on here. They've got different stuff available. I would reach out to them as well. And I can bring it up in a little bit here. Next one on the foreclosure list. Now here in Texas, as I mentioned beforehand, the foreclosures take place every the first Tuesday of the month, which in our case, this month is actually tomorrow. I'll actually be up at the foreclosure auction in the morning for a little bit before I got to go to a doctor's appointment. But Roddy's has been doing this for a long, long time, 20 plus years of pulling foreclosure lists in 230 plus counties, okay? Now, they're known for their residential stuff. Like there's over 4,300 foreclosures across Texas in commercial and residential going to foreclosure tomorrow across the entire state. Okay, like 847 in Harris County. Well, I've been targeting the commercial stuff. That's a little bit more expensive, but I get a lot of great detailed information when it comes to it. So get signed up for a few months. It's about $300 a month. And I picked Central Texas. Now, Houston, which would be East Texas, has it a little bit more every month. But I like something there I could drive to. So I see San Antonio, Austin, Central, all over Central Texas could go up to Waco. I saw a deal on there in Tyler. Give you a bit of an idea, like I paid for stuff and it gave me about 90 commercial properties, and I mapped it really fast here on Batch Geo based on the address. So yeah, some of the stuff like Tyler, College Station, San Antonio's got Austin quite a bit there, out in Midland, or not quite Midland, but out towards that neck of the woods. Okay, everything's a little bit different. Now, what does that spreadsheet look like? Do I have it up here? Here we go. Share. All right, can you guys see the spreadsheet that I think you should see now? All right, I see the map is still on there. Yep, so John says you can see the spreadsheet. Okay, so this is the commercial spreadsheet. Just to give you an idea, their residential spreadsheet is set up very similar to this, so I don't have to go back into it. So you've got the upload time. You can see the report ID, estimated equity, margin percent, estimated unpaid balance, the clerk, year of the report, city. I added the state. They're all Texas. I had to do that for the map. Mapsco page, type of asset, the classification. Let me filter that. Okay. Thank you, Alicia. Good to see you. The loan type, street number, address, bed, bath, garage, property square footage, if it's got a pool. Some of these like duplexes and fourplexes on here, I don't know, they ranked as commercial, but it's actually really a residential loan, but that's okay. Legal description, subdivision, the mortgager first name, mortgager's last name, that would be the borrower in Texas. And mortgagee, that's the lender, and then the trustee, which is the attorney handling the foreclosure. Now, remind me, this is in Central Texas, not Houston, but it covers like Bexar County, Williamson County, Comal County, Gonzales County. A few counties are ramped up into this, which is great. Auction sale, the date, the volume when it was original note was created, the value, the original loan amount, monthly payment. Gives you a lot of great information on here. Okay. So what I like to do, owner's street name and owner's address, which is really kind of cool as well, and then a geo reference. Some of these are not available. So what I like to do is go over here, first and foremost, look at directly the mortgagee. Look at these lenders. Let's blow these up a little bit for you. Okay. So this is the lenders that are foreclosing. These are all distressed, non-performing notes on here, right? So my goal is to look at these lenders and say, okay, who can I reach out to who may have multiple deals, maybe not just here in Texas, but all across the country. Okay. Now, yes, would it make sense for me to look at the asset? Yeah, of course I could go over here and look at the asset. Okay. And I can see if it gives me a lot of times the type of asset class it is. So like VA loan, conventional loan tells me the loan type. Okay. If we go over here a little bit further, there we go. It tells me, I forgot to sort this. Let me go ahead and freeze my panes on the spreadsheet there. Okay. So now it tells me what kind of asset is it? Land unknown, vacant land, commercial, duplex, multifamily, land, multifamily, multi-dwellings, rural residential, vacant land, commercial, vacant lot, multifamily, duplex, farm and ranch improvements. You see, it's what I've had self-storage, I've had industrial on here. We had mixed use, we had an RV park a few months back. 89 foreclosures is not that too exciting here in Austin. It's a lower month than it's been for the last few months. But what I'm getting at here, ladies and gentlemen, it's got all the stuff that you need on here, like this one here, 5827 North Loop West. Was it 291 unit apartment complex in San Antonio? Let's go over here and take a look. Copper Mill Apartments. It's an apartment complex. Yeah, there we go. 291 unit apartment complex. This was supposed to go to foreclosure last month, and was delayed to this month. Okay. So if I go now back to my spreadsheet, guess what? If I look at the Copper Mill Apartments, who lent that money? Who's the lender that I want to reach out to? Okay. It's a fund. All right. B Sport 2021 F Florida 7 issuer. I don't know who that is. So, but I do have the trustee, the attorney on that. Okay. Well, guess what? I'm going to reach out to the attorney if I was interested in buying that note. I can reach out to the attorney, but I found a non-performing apartment now going to foreclosure auction, and I'd be willing to bet that lender's got more than just one. Okay. Same thing. You see like Rose Community Capital, Bank of the Ozarks. These are all going to be real things. So what would I do? I would go over, I get the Bank of the Ozarks here on this one. I could go over to LinkedIn, look for Bank of the Ozarks special asset manager, see who I find is 3 or 4 names using LinkedIn, take that contact and go into Rocket Reach, drop it in there and find an email and see if they're looking to get rid of stuff or what else they have in their books. Sonora Bank. That's the beauty of a foreclosure list is these are all non-performing notes that are at the foreclosure process. And I'm not going to necessarily be lucky enough to maybe buy this note by tomorrow, but it gives me the insight to see who has got stuff that they're foreclosing on. If they have one, they've probably got more. Okay. And the great thing about commercial notes versus residential notes, most of the bigger banks will have a specific asset manager who's easier to deal with to find a one-off note than a residential who's not going to sell you a one-off note most of the time. They may just sell you a portfolio. That's depending on how big the bank is. Okay. Now, if we fast forward a little bit on the residential side, what I would do on the residential side is I'd go to the lender here too, and I'd get rid of the Bank of New York Mellon. I'd get rid of Chase Bank. I'd get rid of VA. I'd be getting rid of like the top 5 or 10 institutions out there because they're not going to sell anything off. And I would focus on the smaller bank, like Sunflower Bank NA. Okay, they got 1 or 2 there. I'd look at Sonora Bank. That's a smaller bank. I would reach out to them to see if they're willing to sell any of their residential notes in a lot of cases. Okay. But this is what's so valuable about a foreclosure list is it gives you so much information. Dialing for dollars is one thing you need to do, but guess what? If you're scared of the phone, you can use the tools that we've given you tonight to take this list, go back in, research the property if you like the property through like a Credit IQ or Crexy, and make out and find the right contact at the bank to get on their list of investors or no buyers, or get their list they send out to you on a weekly or quarterly basis or monthly basis. Okay. And so there you go. That's the foreclosure list. Any questions about that? And going that route. So if you're searching for specific asset classes, then I'd go over here and find your multifamilies, your self-storage. This is just Texas. Okay. If you're looking for stuff in Florida, you're going to want to go to foreclosures.com or find out who provides a foreclosure list in Florida. All right. Like if it's in California, it's going to be the County Records Research is a company out there that does California, Oregon, Washington State, and Nevada and Arizona, I believe. Foreclosures.com will pull foreclosure list on just about the rest of the country. But if you can find a local vendor like I have here in Texas with the Roddy List or the foreclosure listing service, it's going to be much more accurate and much more up to date for us. I mean, we do things pretty fast here in Texas. If you're in a judicial state like Florida, you could go online and look at the foreclosures filings for free. Okay. And go there and take a look at that and look who the lender is and go that route through online services. Okay. But this gives me a nice spreadsheet that I can send to a VA. I can spend a little time and, which ones do I want to focus on? Like, one of the things that we've been looking, I'll give you a great example. If I'm looking for land, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for land in South Texas. So I could just go to land here, farm and ranch improvements, land, farmland, land, and hit OK. And then I go down here and pick the city and states that it's in, or the city and county that it's in. So Cedar Creek, I can see which ones I like. Oh, Lago Vista is up. Pleasanton, San Antonio, Seguin, Texas. Okay, so Seguin. All right, farmland, conventional. It's 2780 feet. It's probably not a very big thing. Oh, wait, maybe I've already seen this one. 2398 Zion Hill. Let's just look here. There it is. Oh, that's the property. Okay. Well, he's got it listed for sale right now. 3-bedroom, 3-bath. Oh, it's a 40-acre lot. Woo! Yeah. I like that. All right. Well, let's go back over here to our spreadsheet. Now I can kind of see what they owe. Farmland, 40 acres. They only owe about 214 on it. It's worth about 300, I guess you could say. I think it's worth more than that, but maybe it's just a house. Oh, maybe it's just the acreage. It's the 1 acre. The rest is also divided off, which is okay. Steel Rock Investments. That's who I would call. Hey, and that's who borrowed it. Steel Rock Investments and Zeus Lending. I know Zeus Lending to give them a phone call. Hey, I got this note that you see you're selling, and go from there. Now, of course, if I were looking for REOs, I could reach out to him and say, "Hey, are you selling this, or is it being delayed?" Okay. All right, let's move back on here. Let's go back on over here to our PowerPoint. Does that make sense, everybody? Everybody liking that? I mean, so it gives you so much opportunity looking at a foreclosure list. Same thing on the residential side, look at it that way. Now, I also like to look at assignments of mortgages, okay? AOM searches. Now, this is Travis County. If I'm going to look at something local, I can go to the county clerk, all right? And most of the counties will allow you to search by document type, okay? If you have like I'll look at a borrower and see how many other properties they own, especially if it's a commercial lender, I'll type in the name and see what else they have. Like when we're doing research, you've probably heard me talk about like multifamily deals and being able to pull up hey, they've got 3 million in mechanics lien, stuff like that. That's what I'm doing. I find out who the owner is based on the address. I put the address in or the owner's name. It pops up the properties. It also pops up on the clerk other things that have been filed, UCCs, mechanics liens, and that tells me if there's been a release of mechanics liens, if they paid it off. And that's one of the things that we do, searching to see how far distressed it is. Okay. Now, a source that I use, that I look at daily, and I mean daily, I get an email to me. I also log on and check out The Real Deal. Yes, therealdeal.com. It's real estate news, sorry. But it gives me all sorts of information. I can search by New York or Florida, LA, Chicago, San Fran, Texas for commercial news, real estate news. Yeah, there's a little bit of drama, some of the lawsuits, but it tells me who's losing stuff, I found a couple of funds that were selling their distressed portfolio off at 50 cents on the dollar. If a multifamily deal is going to foreclosure, it will tell me often who the fund or the lender is, and I can reach out and contact that lender directly, put them on my call list. So I get a lot of great information from The Real Deal. Do I expect you guys to do anything with that list? Probably not. Okay. That's not meant to be mean. It just, Real Deal's not free. I think it's $99 a month, or you get your first month for $1 or something like that. It's well worth it if you will put it to work. And like I said, I get an email in with updated articles. When I started doing short videos, we would pull, I follow a guy on LinkedIn and also another guy on Twitter who share different deals, commercial properties are going to foreclosure. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty good deal to talk about. Well, I started getting tons of hedge fund managers reaching out to me. Hey, I see this deal you're talking about. How do you get access to this kind of stuff? I can't tell you how many people call me. What I'm giving you here right now tonight, guys, is so valuable to you if you put it to work, and so few people will do it. Yes, stuff's like, don't give that away. I'm like, that's fine. I don't expect people to do it, but I'm going to give you some valuable information that if you will take even a fragment of what we've shared so far tonight and put to work, you'll find some deals. All right. You'll find some great deals, not just skinny deals, but great deals and you won't be betrothing to a crappy note listing platform or listen to other people out there complain, there's no deals out there. There's plenty of deals if you know where to look and know how to market. Okay. So Real Deal is one place I like to look to get a little bit of insight what's going on in different markets. Now, ultimately, You have to use your tools and pick up the phone and call somebody or reach out and email somebody. I've never emailed somebody that on a deal that I didn't have to pick up the phone and talk to them. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like the idea of me pulling lists from the state licensing websites and giving you 50 to 100 bankers to call. I get it. It's a new year. You don't have to do this so much now. But you do need to embrace LinkedIn, and you do need to embrace having some sort of CRM tool like REI Blackbook or Keep or just even MailChimp to start that conversation and follow up and follow up and follow up. Okay. I'm always amazed that when I talk to people, like, how often are you emailing your database? If you're not doing it once a week, your database is drying up on you and becoming less valuable ever by the minute. Okay. If you don't have a database, shame on you. Bless your heart here in Texas, what we would call you. Okay. Love you, but bless your heart. John worked hard, but he sure didn't do anything with his list. Okay. You need to do something with your list. You're going to put all this work into resources. Make it something that's valuable. You can send an email blast out to in minutes and reach 1,000 asset managers or 10,000 asset managers or 60,000 asset managers. Such a valuable time. And hire a VA. Sign up for one of these. Hey, VA, go in here and I want you to scrub this and scrub this and scrub this. Pull this information out. So valuable for you to do. Okay. Questions before we move into the residential NPN side of the game. All right, moving on. Now, residential NPNs, same thing. This would be a little bit of a duplicate here. We target banks and hedge funds directly for these. Hi, hello, life of the hello. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming. For residential non-performing notes on single-family homes, duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, we target banks and hedge funds. We call the same departments. We do the same searches on LinkedIn for people in those departments because most banks will have a residential special asset manager and they'll have a commercial special asset manager. Okay. We also target foreclosure lists, just like I showed you. Okay. And you'll often, if you go to some of the different Facebook groups or Bigger Pockets or LinkedIn, LinkedIn groups, you can find people that will have non-performing residential loans. They may not have a big list, but they may have some. You know, it used to be big in the day was people talk about FCI or paper stack. Okay. Well, you know, FCI is gone. Does paper stack have some? Yeah, they primarily have owner finance notes. They're not going to have a huge amount of non-performing notes. They have a lot of newly originated paper on them. And that's kudos. That's kind of what they've fallen into, getting people to post on there. Occasionally you see some non-performing notes, but most of the good stuff that we see comes from our contacts. All right. Comes from the banks, the hedge funds, and or reaching out to smaller banks and institutions like I was just talking about based off the foreclosure lists. Okay. Now, there is another source besides networking and social media groups. Don't just go there, hey, who gets, you know, who's got a source for non-performing? People are not going to give you their source for non-performing notes. You're going to have to go out, hunt and kill and mount and smoke that non-performing note list yourself. Okay. You're going to have to put a little bit of work to do it. That's why we harp so much on the marketing side, is because once you get a list in from an asset manager at a bank and they send to you on a monthly basis, or you can email them monthly, hey, what do you have in your books? It leads to so many deals, repeat deals. It's such a beautiful thing to have deals being fed to you from a variety of different sources. Okay. If you don't have that, there is another way to find it. And we like to look at the county records. Now, I'm going to use Orange County, Florida as an example. Okay. Orange County, Florida, pretty easy. That's where Ratland, Universal Studios, it's Orlando, not Orange County, California, but this is Orlando. And the website I like to go to for all the county records is Netra Online, NETR Online. It's kind of a landing page that you can select state and county, and it'll pull up all the county public offices. So like on this one, we have the property appraiser, we have the controller, which is the recorder's office, the tax collector, the mapping, GIS, the historic aerials, or the orange NETR mapping, GIS map. Okay, I don't really need those. You're going to be using appraiser websites a lot most of the time in real estate. And the recorders. Now we're going to click on the recorder's office. This is going to take us over here to this website here. This is what's going to look for the recorder. You can see that on that. Now I'm going to type in, if I'm just going to do a search here, I want to look for assignment of mortgages. Now, an assignment of mortgage is recorded when a note is sold. Okay. So if I'm going to sell a note to John Sherry in Orange County, it's going to say my LLC assigns to John Sherry's LLC. Okay. Now, there's a lot that goes on in Florida. There's a lot that goes on in Orlando. I did a 2-month search from today, going back 2 months to October 1st of last year. And down in the bottom down here, you can see there was, just for that 2 months, 2,459 assignments. And you can pick the document type. Well, you pick the assignment in here. Okay. 2,459 total records. Okay. That's a lot. Now, I'm going to just pull the second one off the list. This one, as you can see on here, recorded today. It's an assignment of mortgage. Let me blow it up here a little bit so you can see it today. Okay. From MERS to New Res. Okay. And it shows you that blah, blah, blah for the borrower, Shell Point Servicing, MERS and or assigns with an office to New Res LLC, Shell Point Mortgage Servicing. Okay. And it tells you it's Jordan and Jennifer Labadie who are the lender, who are the borrowers on this property in Orange County, Florida. Docket number, or the document number 2021-0457135. Now, what does that tell me? Well, it tells me they're assigning based off the mortgage that was originally written in 2021, April of 2021. Okay. Now, what it gives me here, this is the beautiful thing. This gives me the contact name at MERS. Okay. Lauren Astle. Now, is Lauren going to deal with it if you call her? No, probably not. But with other companies, when you search out the companies, you can see who signs off. Oftentimes, you'll find an attorney, a vice president, somebody who has the power to sign on the assignment of mortgage on the transfer. That's a very powerful phone number. I mean, it's a powerful contact. What do? You take that name, you go over, you look in LinkedIn, you looked at Rocket Reach to find that person's name, and then reach out to them. Hey, I saw that you were on an assignment of mortgage, right? As your bank, your lender, your fund selling notes, non-performing. Now, I don't know what's going on with this deal, but I think it's a non-performing note. Most of the time, this is just a recent recording date, January 6th. If it was a newly originated mortgage, it would be somewhere in the last 2 weeks because of the holidays. Okay. A lot of stuff didn't get filed over it, but this was done. I don't have there was a date down at the bottom here that I cut off. Okay. But the great thing about this is I now have a name at Shell Point Mortgage Servicing. I know an address to call about. A nationwide title clearing. That's a great. So, but the thing is this name down here, very, very valuable and who to reach out to. Now, I could do a quick search too and see, well, do Jordan and Jennifer Labadie still own this property? So I went over the appraisal network, and sure enough, in Orange County Appraisal Network, when I typed in Labadie, it picked up this exact property, 6269 Hamlin Reserve Boulevard. That's what it looks like with a bad photo. If I click on it and went to Google Maps, here's a current photo of the property. Okay. So their mortgage just got transferred. Now, most of the time, performing notes don't transfer. It's usually going to be a non-performing note or something, but maybe they did sell off a big chunk of their portfolio. It varies a little bit. But guess what? I have a name. I have a property I can refer to back, say, hey, oh, look, that's probably Jennifer right there. Hi, Jennifer. Look at her right there. I didn't see that when I saved this image a little bit. But anyway, if it's a non-performing note, great stuff. You can see, if you get a list of non-performing notes, you can see who you bought it from or who's selling it, who they bought it from. Wink, wink, and go direct to the source. All right. So when I see like my competitors blasting out a full list, I'm not going to go through them. I'm just going to go direct who they bought it from. Okay, I'm going to go, who is their source? And I'm going to add that source to my database. Now, some people, well, you should go direct. You're violating it. Well, if I'm seeing a list from somebody, I'm going to go direct, especially if If I know the seller and I've bought from them in the past and they're a reputable seller, I will all day long pay them. Glad to pay them their commission, stuff like that. But there's too many joker brokers out there slapping, throwing stuff across the board to have no business being in the business. Okay. I can also go type in a name and see if I can type in an LLC name and an assignment of mortgage and see if they've sold or bought anything in the county. That's kind of cool too. If you know sellers' names or LLC names that are selling notes, you can see who they like. I've done that in Indiana and Ohio, like Harbor Portfolio, which bought a lot of contract for deeds years ago. I would go to the county records and do a deed search and just put in Harbor Portfolio, and it would give me everybody that they ever sold a contract for deed to in like Marin County. All right. That's Indianapolis. Or if I did like Hamilton County, which is Cincinnati, or county for Columbus, I could see everybody that Harbor sold to. Well, what I would just go find their information and reach out to them directly. Said, hey, I saw that you've bought some contract for deeds from Harbor. Do you have anything on your books that you're looking to get rid of? Okay. This is how you find such great deals without having to go through all the BS of trying to pick through the dead remnants of what's left on some of these listing websites. And like I said, guys, once you find a contact name, it's all about the follow-up. Email, LinkedIn, a phone call, and then just following up, follow up. You've heard me say it before. 80% of sales comes after the 5th contact. This is the first 3. You just follow up with a drip. You get their email, guess what? Send them an email and then add them to your contact list. Drip market them once a month. Hey, just reaching out this month to see what you have on your books. I can't tell you how many times. I mean, we've been doing one of those emails like that for years. All right. There's some people that are still on that list who still get my stuff. I'm surprised they haven't retired yet, but they're still on my list. What do you have on your books this month? What do you have on your books this quarter? It's one of the most valuable things because that database is the lifeblood of your business. That's the source. That's the life force. Okay. It's the spice. Spice of your note life. But most of you are not going to take the action. Most of you are just going to, I'm going to go do something else. If you really want to buckle down, guys, these are the things that will help you find non-performing notes on the residential and on the foreclosure side of the ballgame. Now, our way, one contact equals multiple deals. That's different than most of you. All right. Everybody's chasing like owner finance deals. Yes, there are some people, I have multiple properties. Okay, that's great. But I guarantee they're not going to be the source of where we get one seller who has sent us basically 1,500 notes to cherry pick from in the last quarter. Yeah, is there going to be junk on them and some deads? Of course there is, but still a lot of deals to look through. I don't have to go out and spend thousands of dollars on direct mail. We have 0 direct mail costs. I take that back. We had some because we had a few cards we sent out this month. But you need a good CRM. And like I said, REI Black Book is good. Keep is good. Active Campaign is not very good. Constant Contact is not good. MailChimp is okay. But the most important thing is build in your follow-up plan. Send an email blast out to your database of asset managers at least once a month. Your warm list of investors once a week. And the whole idea is to build this list and then rinse and repeat. Keep adding people. Keep expanding your network. If you just keep posting to the 2,000 people you have on LinkedIn, only 200 people are going to see it. And they're going to see the same thing over and over again. You got to expand your list. You got to share. You got to market. And you got to do it in multiple facets. It's not difficult. It's not meant to be 40 hours a week. A couple hours a week, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll be good to go. Now, we do have an upcoming class, February 14th, 15th, and 16th. That's in basically 5.5 weeks. Here in Austin, Texas, is the first live class that we've done in over a year, and probably closer to 2 years now, a year and a half at least. And we've got limited seating available for this class. It's going to be here in Austin, Texas. You can get signed up by going to notebuyingfordummies.com. It's 3 days with yours truly. We get started at Friday at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll go to 5 or 6. Same thing on Saturday. Sunday, we'll go like 9 to 3 because I know some folks will be taking off for the airport to head out of town. But it'll be one of the most impactful workshops for you. Day 1, we're going to spend almost the entire day on finding deals. Yes, we'll take a lunch break for you. And we'll probably go get some barbecue and fellowship a little bit together for that Friday night. Bring your spouse. All right. Day 2, raising money. Spend all day on day 2 going through marketing and how we raise money, how to touch base with IRA investors, how to build you a river of private money for you to tap into, whether it's a one-off deal or a big deal for you. Okay. Day number 3, we'll talk about making money, how you take the deals that we come across, evaluate them, and how do you put these deals together with investors and making money, whether it's you're buying a performing note or a non-performing note, you get reperforming under foreclosed, how to structure those deals, how to fund these deals with your own money or how to fund them with other people's money. We'll go through all that stuff. Okay. And if you go to Note Buying for Dummies right now, normal cost is right at $1,500 for 2 people for this workshop. It's a small class, 50 people capped on that. Okay. If you sign up for it right now, we're still running a 30% discount. That's good for you plus your partner or spouse. Now, we also have our no BS money back guarantee. If you come to the workshop and you don't like it at the end of day 1, you say this is the worst workshop I've ever been to or it's not valuable, guess what? No problem. Go spend the rest of your time in Austin Fund. We'll refund your money back for you. No questions asked. That's why we stand behind our class business. No, if you liked what we talked about tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you saw some things you probably see. We're going to do a lot more of that in day 1. Imagine spending a full day with me going on how to find deals. We're also going to be breaking in to small groups while you're there. Yes, you'll have to network a little bit, but we're giving you specific case studies, specific deals to do quick online due diligence, to go through some things. That's the best way to learn, is actually put it to work and get your hands dirty on a couple deals. Some past deals, some upcoming deals, some great stuff for you at the notebuyingfordummies.com. If you're interested in finding more information, if you need to split it up into 2 payments, let me know. I can make it a payment arrangement for you. We want to have you there. The thing, guys, is we may teach this once again in August. Don't wait 6 months to do this. If you're interested in get signed up for it, notebuyingfordummies.com. We'll go through some things. Those that get signed up early, we'll be sending things that, hey, what are your biggest weaknesses? What do you need help with? So we'll be able to kind of tailor the class more so for what you want to focus on. People always ask me, well, do you have a day-by-day itinerary? We have a loose itinerary that we'll put together. But for the most part, that's the itinerary. First day is all about finding deals. Day 2 is all about raising money, marketing. Day 3 is all about making money. How do you put the finding, the funding to get it to flow, or the flip, depending on which way you go. All right. So that's it. Notebuyingfordummies.com, guys. If you liked what we talked about tonight, love to have you there here in Austin for 3 days with us. We're going to have fun. We always take good care of our students. It's a blast for those that have attended in the past for you. So wanted to open up for Q&A right now. If you guys have any questions, encourage you to ask. I am monitoring the YouTube live stream as well. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask about what we covered tonight or anything else, now is the opportunity for you to go in and type in the chat roll or raise your hand, and I can bring you on live to answer your question live if you'd like. Now, if you're in YouTube, just type it in the Q&A section there for those that are still there. Okay. I've been buying notes for years, guys. I have a personal goal of buying 100 non-performing notes that we turn into performing notes this year. That's one of my biggest goals for the year. That means I'm going to probably make offers on 1,000 notes to get to that 100 or less, 300 probably minimum. I'm also probably going to take a big chunk of the notes we buy back via foreclosure, deed in lieu, and then those turn into bigger checks. But that's the goal. If you look at 100 notes, or look at 10 notes, one a month, or 12 notes, one a month at $250, you guys could all be building $3,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 in cash flow and taking action. But that's up to you. You have to start taking action one way or another. And your first action, hey, come on out to Austin, spend 3 days with us here. We've got a hotel that's nice here for you guys. Everything you need right around it. You don't even need to rent a car. Come on out and let's have a good time here in Austin for the next Note Buying for Dummies workshop, February 14th. Okay. Once we find mortgage notes, who do we reach out to for the deal? The original seller of the note? Yeah, whoever. If you're looking for owner finance notes, yeah, whoever the bank is, whoever the lender is. Are you interested in selling that note? It's a non-performing. What are you looking for? That's exactly who you reach out to. Life, for sure. Great question. Yeah. That's why we went through all that stuff tonight, was telling you, hey, finding banks that have distressed notes, finding lenders that have distressed notes, okay? People will show up on that foreclosure list too. Hey, what do you have? What are you looking to get rid of this? This is the only thing. I mean, I found private investors, IRA investors on the foreclosure list here in Texas before that I've reached out and made good relationships with, okay? So once again, that class is notebuyingfordummies.com. That is the link to get you signed up for that. I see a couple people have clicked on the link already. That's notebuyingfordummies.com. We hope to see you here in a couple of weeks. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me at talkwithscottcarson.com. That's talkwithscottcarson.com. That's my meeting link. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm always glad to answer any questions and talk with our students. And we look forward to 2025 being a successful year for all of us, especially if you're in the note investing side out there. Trust me, I've been getting plenty of fix and flippers, landlords, people used to doing like REOs. They can't find deals. They can't find stuff at discounts like they normally would. And so the note investing side is an opportunity for you to take advantage of that. So let's get you in front of some deals. Let's get you breaking down some deals. Let's get you making some offers. Let's get you raising money and truly making 2025 your most profitable year. Thanks for joining us live, everybody. If you're catching the replay, like I said, talkwithscottcarson.com. We'll put a link in the show notes as well for you to get signed up for the workshop there. But take advantage of that 30% discount. It's going to last forever. Well, as we get closer, that discount will be dropping week by week. So take advantage of it, and hopefully we'll see you here in Austin, Texas, everybody.